Hello everyone, I am here at the True Story. This one is by David R. Kennedy, and it is called Light of Peace and Deliverance. The morning fog collected as dew and dripped from the mossy tree limbs that hugged our picnic table. Tent and car, in my 5-year-old boy's enthusiasm, I jumped up and down. Dad lit the burners on our green Coleman stove with a fiery whoosh. Mom cooked her tantalizing breakfast of bacon, eggs, and French toast. She served my dad, my 2 older brothers, and me on flimsy paper plates. To my delight, nothing slid off. This would be the first day of our best weekend camping trip to the Oregon coast ever, I thought. Now don't forget to stay off that boat dock on the bay, Davy, Mom advised in her serious voice. Until you learn to swim, it's no place for you to go alone. The water is 60 feet deep out there, she added. Oh my God. As if the depth would keep me landlocked. I wouldn't let him out of my sight. We'll all walk over to the tide pools later and you can catch minnows there. I remember doing that as me and my sisters doing that when we was kids. Okay, I agreed, but with secret reservations. You know, little kids are sneaky and they're going to want to do it anyway. On an earlier walk with Mom to the end of the now prohibited dock, I had spied hundreds of tiny fish just under the water's surface. Anticipating a future fish scooping expedition, I had begged Mom for something to use as a net. She offered her mother's bread pan, but it came with restrictions. Don't use it without me there to watch you, and certainly not on the dock. And remember, that pan was your granny's favorite, and it's mine too, so don't lose it. Okay, Mom, I answered. Later that morning, when we visited the tide pools, Granny's pan held starfish, sand crabs, and shells, but no fish. Sounds like so much fun. After eating a peanut butter sandwich for lunch, Dad went fishing up the river that entered the bay near our camp. Mom catnapped, my brothers played cops and robbers in the woods, and I kept thinking about minnows. You stay away from that water, boy. Because of my earlier walk to the dock with Mom, I knew the wide, sturdy structure was completely safe. No, you don't. I also concluded its thick wooden surface would make the perfect perch for nilling and sweeping unsuspected fish into Granny's pan. I'd even noticed how the dock floated on 2 parallel lines of huge logs, 6-inch thick moss covered, the hefty timbers submerged below the dock's wooden planked walkway. He knows a lot for a 5-year-old here. This ideal minnow sanctuary hovered just within my arm's reach. With Granny's pan, I could flush the hiding fish into my metal net. Dressed in a hand-me-down gray sweatshirt, jeans, and tennis shoes, I sat in camp ready for action. I planned a quick trip to the dock to dip out a few minnows. I could be back before anybody knew it. Easy, safe, and fun. No, no, and no. At just the right moment, I slipped away toward the nearby bay. All you gotta do is take your eyes off of them for a moment. That's all it takes. Just as I remembered, the dock's log floats housed billions of tiny fish, and they were all mine. The moss on the logs swayed in the current, exposing fish, then covering them. I knelt on both knees, making a tripod with my knees and right forearm. Anchored this way to the dock, I was ready for a left-handed swipe at my prey. After pushing up my bulky sweatshirt sleeves, I dipped Granny's pan. The fish above submerged logs swam faster than I expected. They all escaped. Inching closer to the dock's edge, I extended my reach toward the desired payload. Nothing. Exasperated, I stretched down deep into the water and pulled hard with Granny's pan. My clever tripod collapsed and I tumbled over the side. I knew it. Water wrapped me in its smothering grip, but that didn't matter to me as much as my cloudy view of Granny's pan rocking side to side as it sank down and away from my desperate grasp. Only after the pan vanished did I understand that I was also underwater. My sweatshirt bunched up around my shoulders, my jean legs waved in slow motion, and my shoes felt heavy with water. I reached upward to grasp at the log supporting the dock above me. Its thick moss covering my fishing alley became my slippery enemy as my little hands slid off its slimy circumference. The more my arms and legs churned, the deeper I drifted under the water. Looking up, I saw the mossy log and the distant sky above. The water's surface glimmered like the ice layer on a winter pond. Hard, impenetrable, and yet during this hopeless struggle, a bright white circle of light caught my eye. The light shone from above, the water as if pointing to me below, and it completely absorbed my attention. I stopped worrying about Granny's pan and felt no concern. As I sank powerlessly toward the bottom of the bay, I thought only of that radiant, happy light and felt embraced in peace. I thought the bright light was the sun shining through the water. I have no memory of gripping the huge log float supporting the dock. I don't remember seizing the edge of the planks on the dock far above. I have no memory of pulling my drenched body back up to the dock. I don't recall touching a muddy bottom or swimming to safety or anyone helping me. I don't remember getting out of the water at all, but I do remember this: I had no fear. All was at peace. Even the chilled Pacific waters felt warm to me. My next memory is of stumbling up the narrow trail from the bay to our campsite. Only this memory is not from my point of view of the trail. Instead, I've always seen myself on the trail as if I'm still back on the dock. I watch myself run up the trail toward Mom and Dad, repeating the only thing on my mind: I lost Granny's pan, I lost Granny's pan. I entered our campsite, still confessing my misdemeanor, oblivious to the message my soggy condition must have given Mom and Dad. Heavy and sweatshirt dripping, jean and water squishing in my tennis shoes told the dreadful tale of a boy who'd fallen into the bay. After hearing my account of tumbling off the dock, Mom gathered me in her arms and asked, "How did you get out?" "I don't know," I said. Mom hugged me and held me close. I cried over Granny's lost pan. I saw Mom's tears but didn't understand them. Mom rocked me in her arms and helped me find dry clothes. I've always questioned reports of angels when they follow the formula. A bright light suddenly appeared. It's why I rarely tell my story. But since that day, I've learned something else about what happened to me. The Bible says the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Psalm 34:7. From my earlier memories of praying with my granny, I knew God loved me and I loved him. That granny, by the way, is the one whose pan I lost that day and whose prayer for her grandchildren never ceased. But what exactly is this deliverance? It is reserved for astonishing ocean rescues, or is it that and more? The great peace, the comfort and quiet warmth of God's deliverance as I drifted under the water was my first taste of something I've known since that day, especially in times of crisis. It is the experience of the one who loves and abides inside me. His presence is his deliverance. I felt God's delivering presence encamped around me when wheeled into surgery as a teen at my mother's deathbed, holding the lifeless body of my newborn grandson. and when the doctors told me I had a disabling nerve disease. I've even known his deliverance on a regular day when I pray and take my rest in him. In those moments, just as on that day beneath the water, his righteousness, peace, and joy comfort me and bring great satisfaction and delight. My fears, anxiety, discouragement, and loss are buried in the depths of his love.